this lecture, I want to share with you how to deliver a crisis speech. What's a crisis speech? Literally that. As a manager or a representative in your organization or in your society, something is happening and they're calling upon you to calm the situation down, to explain the matters, and to allow some sense of rationale to come through in a very emotional space. So when you're delivering a crisis type speech, bear in mind the following. Number one, your composure is so critical. Your facial expressions must be more solemn. Your tone of voice must show the care, but at the same time, the pace of your speech must be a bit more slow and moderate. You can't be speaking too fast because your whole composure has to calm down the emotions. And a fast pace will actually heighten that emotion. With your composure is to manage your hand gestures. So it's less about the movement and more about the tonality of your voice. Number two, you need to identify what your message is going to be. Remember that when you are brought on to deliver the speech and to calm down the audience and your public at large, it might be very soon in the process, a crisis must have just happened and you are brought on to calm everyone down. But at the time that you are brought on to speak, you might not know all the facts just yet. So point number two is to identify your message. What is it that you would like to accomplish by the end of your talk? Do you want to just inform people that you are aware of a certain situation? Are you alerting them to danger with the intent that in a follow-up speech, you'll tell them more once you learn of it? Do you simply want to calm the situation down with facts without allowing your audience to listen from other people and get heightened emotions? Number three, it's very critical in this type of speech to know what you cannot say. Sometimes information is confidential. Sometimes information is sensitive. Sometimes information is not yet allowed to be shared because it's still under investigation. So especially in your talk, if you're going to be asked questions after you deliver the speech, you cannot divulge everything too soon. So before you give the talk, know what you can say. So if you are asked about it, then just say to the audience that it's under investigation or it's currently quite sensitive. And at some point you can share a little bit more information, but not right now. Number four, as a speaker with this type of speech, show empathy. Your face, your expressions need to show something of care. So your choice of words has to be reviewed by not only yourself, but someone else as an unbiased opinion, just to make sure that what you're saying is not going to cause sensitivity. Remember that your purpose of your speech is to calm people down, and you calm them down through the words that you use. Number five is to provide relevant information as you are aware of it at the time of your talk. So tell your audience what happened. When did it happen? Who did it involve? What could have been done to prevent it? When did it take place? And most importantly, what is being done right now to bring the situation under control? And if that's all the information that you know at the time, then share it. Number six, be truthful and be sincere. So state the facts as you are aware of it, and your whole body language, your physiology shows sincerity to that message. Number seven, do not guess. So provide the facts and the figures as you are aware of it, and cite those sources that have provided you with those facts and the figures. Number eight is to admit mistakes. If something has happened, and as the manager of a certain department or in your role in that organization, whatever that role is, if something has happened and it should have been controlled and prevented, then admit mistakes. And lastly, with a crisis type speech, it's critical for you as a speaker to admit that you don't know everything at that point in time. So if someone has to ask you a question, if you don't know the answer, and it's still under investigation, then say that to your audience. So in conclusion, as a leader, as a speaker, you'll be remembered not only for inspiring an audience and sharing your vision, but you'll be also remembered for how you deal with crisis. And this specific type of speech sets you apart from everyone else who deals with a crisis. Think of all the leaders in the world and the types of crises that they have taken their companies through or taken their countries through. And I'm certain you'll come across and remember those leaders who have handled the crisis through a crisis management speech. I would like you to use this lecture to be one of those leaders in helping your audience stay calm and keep the situation under control. And in that way, you'll be remembered even more as a speaker. That concludes this lecture on how to handle a crisis speech. On the next lecture, I'll share with you how to praise either an event or a person. I'll see you in the next lecture.